It is the most studied building on Earth. 4,500 years old. 2.5 million blocks of stone. We have measured every face of the Great Pyramid, mapped every passage we can crawl through, and argued over it for 1,000 years. And we still cannot answer one simple question. What is still sealed inside it? For most of history, there was only one way to find out. Tear it apart. Then a few physicists found another way. They decided to look straight through solid rock, using particles raining down from space. The Great Pyramid was built for the pharaoh Khufu, around 2560 BC. For nearly 4,000 years, it was the tallest structure humans had ever made. The numbers still do not feel real. 2.5 million blocks, some of them weighing as much as a truck, stacked with joints so tight you cannot slide a knife between them. But here is the strange part, the part you rarely hear. When people finally broke into the sealed chambers, they were empty. No mummy. No treasure. No body of Khufu. The greatest tomb ever built, and the king it was built for has never been found inside it. That mystery left archaeologists with a brutal problem. If something is still hidden inside 2.5 million blocks of stone, how do you ever find it without wrecking the pyramid to look? You cannot dig random tunnels through a world wonder. You cannot knock on the walls and listen. The known passages, the Grand Gallery, the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, were mapped centuries ago. Everything past those walls was a sealed box, and the only key anyone had was a sledgehammer. So for generations, the inside of the Great Pyramid stayed exactly that. A locked box nobody could open. The answer came from physics, not archaeology. Every second of every day, the Earth is showered with cosmic rays from deep space. When they hit the top of our atmosphere, they create a rain of tiny particles called muons. Muons are like heavy cousins of the electron, and they have a strange talent. They can pass through solid rock. But not equally. The more stone a muon crosses, the more likely it is to be absorbed along the way. So if you place a detector under a pyramid and patiently count the muons coming through from every direction, a pattern appears. Where there is solid rock, fewer muons get through. Where there is empty space, more of them do. It is an X-ray. But instead of a machine, the light source is the universe itself. In 2015, an international team launched a project called ScanPyramids. Egyptian, French, and Japanese scientists, working with the Egyptian government, with one rule above all others. Touch nothing. No drilling, no digging, no damage. They slid muon detectors into the existing chambers and tucked them against the base, and then they waited. Muons arrive slowly, so reading a pyramid this way takes months of counting, particle by particle. They were building a photograph of the inside of a mountain of stone, using nothing but patience and the sky. And after months of counting, the photograph showed something that should not have been there. In 2017, the team announced their first major find in the journal Nature. High up in the pyramid, directly above the Grand Gallery, the muons revealed a large empty space. They called it the Big Void. It is at least 30 meters long. That is the length of an airliner, hidden inside solid masonry, in a building we thought we had mapped completely. 3 separate detector technologies, run by 3 separate groups, all saw the same gap in the same place. This was not a glitch or a shadow. There is a room-sized emptiness in the heart of the Great Pyramid, and until that announcement, no living person knew it was there. Then in 2023, ScanPyramids confirmed a second discovery, and this one they could actually see. Behind the great stone chevrons on the north face, just above the original entrance, the muons had flagged another hollow. This time the team threaded a tiny endoscope camera through a narrow joint in the stones, and the camera looked into a corridor. About 9 meters long, with a vaulted ceiling, sealed and empty, untouched since the pyramid was built. For the first time, a hidden space found by particles from space was confirmed by a human eye. The method worked. The pyramid was still keeping secrets, and now we had a way to find them. So what is inside the big void? The honest answer is, nobody knows yet. And that is exactly why it is so hard to stop thinking about it. Some engineers believe it is a relieving space, a structural gap left by the builders to take weight off the grand gallery below it, with no treasure and no purpose beyond holding the building up. Others are not so sure. The void is large, it is well placed, and this is the one pyramid where the king himself was never found. Could it hold another chamber? A passage? Something that was meant to stay hidden forever? Until someone gets a camera inside it, every one of those answers is still on the table. And it is not just the Great Pyramid. The same idea, seeing into solid ground without digging, is rewriting Egypt everywhere. Ground-penetrating radar sends pulses into the earth and reads what bounces back, mapping walls and shafts and tombs while they are still buried. At Saqqara, surveys keep turning up sealed shafts packed with coffins. Across the river, radar has been used to hunt for hidden rooms behind the walls of the Valley of the Kings. Every year, the tools get sharper, and every year the ground gives up something new. We are not running out of discoveries in Egypt. We are just finally learning how to see them. Think about where that leaves us. We have stood in the shadow of the Great Pyramid for 4,500 years. We have climbed it, surveyed it, written libraries about it. We have now literally looked through it with particles born in dying stars. And the most studied building in human history is still hiding rooms from us. That is the thing worth sitting with. It is not some forgotten ruin in a jungle. It is the most famous structure on the planet, in plain sight, in the middle of a city, and we are only now discovering how little we actually know about what is inside it. The detectors are still under the pyramid right now, still counting. A new, far larger muon telescope has been proposed that could map the inside of the Great Pyramid in detail we have never had. Sooner or later, someone is going to point a camera into that 30-meter void and tell us what is there. When they do, you are going to want to already know the story. That is what we do here. We take the things hiding in plain sight and we drag them into the light. The studies are public. The scans are real. Go look it up for yourself, and decide what you believe. I am August Vane. Watch the ground.